Welcome back to the channel, Junior with a classic VW Bug, episode number 12. Today we continue to work with the engine bay for Harley, the 1973 Westfalia. The part that I brought from UK, it's not a perfect fit. I tried to fiddle with it and see if I could use most of it, but it did not want it to mate properly with the connecting point. So I had to deconstruct the piece. Instead of just sending it back, I only needed half of it, so I cut it off. And then the part that I cut off, I deconstructed it. You know, in the engineering, we will say something like we reverse engineer the piece so we can actually do a better and improved piece, right? So what I'm going to do now is show you exactly what I had to do. I did some pre-work, some pre-fabrication work before this video. So I'm going to go ahead and share with you what I did. Let me go ahead and bring the camera closer so you can see what I'm talking about. This is the section of the engine bay that I am missing. When they did the Type 1 conversion, for some odd reason, they cut off a piece, or maybe it got rotted and he cut it off. I don't know the story behind it, but I'm going to go ahead and make it to look like it should be. I cut out some of the rotted metal that was here. I rust treated it. I spray painted it with primer. And so if you look here, there are a few spots that I went back and I ground off the primer, because that's where I'm going to be plug welding some of the pieces that I need to put back on there. So the piece that I purchased, in similarity, it looks like something that would go there. It even has that big old loop right there. And as you can see, I have a cut right in the middle, because from that point on is what I was missing. And from that point on, it's where I caught the piece that I brought from UK that I will be using partial pieces of it, because the base that came with the part from UK, it was somehow a little bit wider than the original piece. The way that they fabricated the piece, it was not a whole piece. Basically took two pieces individually and they butt welded them together. And then the top portion right here, they sort of like did like a laser cut piece, a whole plate that got to some point. And then the piece that goes on top, that does like the reverse of this here, is almost like if you would have taken this piece here and then turn it upside down here in this section. Yeah, if you have seen a Westfalia before, a Type 2, it has a Type 4 engine, you know what I'm talking about. So like here, it has like a big old lump here that has a serial number to it, that it's part of the identification of the car. Prefab some pieces just to save some time. Nothing that requires a rocket scientist knowledge. You take an angle grinder, you take a piece of sheet metal, and then you take a roll of tape and you use the tape to muck up the piece that you want to cut out. You take that piece of tape in the shape that you need it, and you transfer that either to a piece of cardboard to use that and use it in the future for any other future projects, or you can transfer it directly into your sheet metal and just cut it out. Okay, so with a roller tape, I am going to trace the area that I need to prefab. And with the tape, I'm going to make a template, which I will be using later on to transfer into a piece of cardboard and into a piece of sheet metal. Okay, so once traced over the cardboard, you take your scissors and you go ahead and cut it out, and then you can use that to cut your new piece. So I'm using this metal here. I bought this at the local hardware store, and I'm going to trace this piece here. This section here, it does not fit with my template, and then I'm going to go ahead and use a angle grinder to cut it out, clean it, and we should be ready to install it in the engine bay compartment. That's what I did. I did both. I did the mock-up, I did the piece of cardboard, and then I transferred the shape into my sheet metal and I cut it out, and this is the end result. This is what I got right here. I will actually add a picture in the video of what the piece looks like as a whole, the piece that you buy from UK. This one here, I already primed it in the bottom so that when I put it right there, it's already protected. Now, one thing that I will make an observation on, which it was the same kind of like thing that happened with the piece that came from UK. This now looks flat, right? But from factory, it has a step, and I could probably duplicate that, but I'm not gonna do it. I don't really see any use for it right now, and it's just gonna be time consuming. Plus, I don't have a breaker, so I don't have a brake that I can do that. I could do it using an angle iron if I wanted to, but it's time consuming, and honestly, I don't really need that. It's not gonna really make any difference that I know. So what I'm gonna do is, because if I don't do the bend, I have like a gap, if you see that, right? But if I take this piece of sheet metal and I lay it right there, it evens it out and it looks nice. And that's what I'm gonna do, because then it will be all solid, and then all I have to do is just plug weld it, be done with it, and then I'll put the section on top that I am missing. Let me go ahead and get the section that I am missing so you can see how the whole thing is going to look like. What I'm going to do is I'm going to muck it up with a couple of vice grips, and then I'm going to tack weld it and come back and weld the whole thing. I got to do a whole seam here. This here is going to be a whole string of weld all the way down to here, and this here is just going to be plug welded. So this is the piece that I deconstructed from the piece that I got from UK. As you can see here, it was not really something that I would say it was right on spot. It wasn't. It's more costly to send it back than just to try to like modify it. So I cut out the spot welds, as you can see here. The way that they actually sent this piece here, let me go get the other section so you can see what I'm talking about. You see this piece right here? That's supposed to be that piece right there. But if you notice, they basically overlapped the piece on top. They did not do like a 90-degree bend and then like use a shrink, a shrinker stretcher to actually shape it in this shape like that, right? So that would have gone like that. And honestly, it would have taken a lot of cutting and grinding to make that fit, because this actually is wider than it should be. Look what I'm talking about. Even if I put it where it goes, it actually extends out like about an eighth of an inch over this here. So I decided to cut it out. When I restore my cars, I try to keep as much original metal as I can. So I kept that. That piece is good. That's not going anywhere. I guess I can always use this scrap here for something else, maybe to do a patch up or something like that, right? So the piece right there, I cut it, and then just so you can have an idea, I'm gonna let that there sit there, and this section here is supposed to go like that, and that would do that would actually make up for the whole part, as it should have been when it came out from factory. So anyway, I cut it off. The bottom section that they sent was this right here, this piece right here. Don't mind the grinding and the welding. I cut it out. I had an idea. I cut it off in half to see if I could actually use the same piece that they sent, but it was a no-go. So, I decided to do a new piece and make it look better. So yeah, so don't worry about that. Don't mind that piece. So that's a no-go, but I have a nicer, better piece that I'm going to be using. So I'm going to go ahead and tack weld the bottom plate here, and then I'll come back and tack weld that there. But I'm going to go ahead and muck this up so you can see what is going to be sort of like the final product when I'm done. Okay, friends, so this is what it should look like when I'm done. Something like this. You see those little holes? I will be plug welding that to fasten it to the main structure of the bus, and running a hole in string of welds all the way down to here to make it look like this. And that's going to be it. Then this here will be ready for sanding, priming, and painting. I got to grind down this well right here. There was like a little crack right there. So instead of just replacing that section right there, all I did, I opened the opening a little bit more, and I ran a hole bit. So I'll just go ahead and grind that down. I put a little bit more of material than I needed because I know that I really needed to get some good penetration. So that's what it looks like that, but it'll be fine. So once I'm done, it'll be nice and smooth and all that. I gotta fabricate a little piece to go from here to here. I do have the piece. It's all rotted out, so I'll use this piece here to make the piece that I need for right there. I think I might even just come further back right here because it's a weak spot right there, and I'll cut it right there, and then I'll just run a whole new piece from here to there. I'll bring you back when I'm ready to do some welding. Okay, so first step, I am going to plug weld this piece right here. Then I'll grind it smooth, and then I'll move on to install the next piece that goes on top, which is this one right here. And then I will install the other one and do that. So I want to do this part first here because it would be easier to run a string of weld all the way down here without that piece in the way, and it will also be easier to grind this smooth to just look somehow nice and decent, just like that as opposed if I had the whole piece all tacked together. I hope that makes sense. Let me get my welding hood and a pair of gloves to go ahead and get started here. Okay, that's there now. We just need to grind that down, and I'll bring you back. I'm gonna go ahead and get the grinder, grind that down, and I'll bring you back. Okay, so the bottom plate is welded. So right now I am soaking the original piece of metal that has the part of the serial number for the bus and rusty silver, because I'm actually going to use that piece with a part I brought from UK. I'm going to cut off a section of that part so I can actually incorporate and bond these two together as a whole. That way I'll have the original piece of the bus that has the number, the identification number for the bus within. So I'll go ahead and turn the camera around and show you that. So I wire brushed it, and I'm waiting now about 30 minutes for that to actually do its job. Then we'll go ahead and rinse it with some warm water, and maybe we might even go over it with a wheel wire brush one more time to see if we can get any more of that rust out. But if not, I think it's looking pretty good as we're looking at it. I'm gonna go ahead and plug weld that right there to make it as a whole. Or worst case scenario, I could cut that piece off right there and use part of the new piece that I brought from UK. So we're gonna be actually putting that together with this here. I already did a cutout. My plan is to do, so I'm going to cut here and also up here, going up, so that I can install the original piece that has the serial number, so that it will look almost like when it came from factory. Okay, so I'll bring you back once we have had 30 minutes due in, so we can rust treat this piece. Okay, so that's what the rusty solver has done. I'm gonna go ahead now and rinse it under warm water. So this is my idea, how I intend to do. I'm going to use this like this, and I'm going to clamp it with these guys right here. And then I'm going to trace the line and just cut on both directions, here and here. And then we're going to go ahead and weld it. And I was thinking that I can take my little die grinder and cut this here and here and just make this section here a butt weld. That way it will blend in better. And also trying to keep a integral part of the bus there. So I think that would be fine. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go that route. Okay, that was almost a workout right there, but I did manage to trace the whole piece in a way that I cut only the excess material that I did not want it there. So now this is the OEM piece. It's going to be fitted, right, and tack welded just along with that piece right there, and I am keeping the integral part of the bus that has the actual serial number right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and tack it and go test fit it. If it fits well, then I'll go ahead and like stitch weld it, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and try that over at the engine bay. I was looking for this to be a almost like the original, right? Oh my God, I think that's it right there. I think I got it, friends. What do you think? I think I got it. So we put that right there, right there. Let's see how it looks from the outside. So if I just weld that and I grind that, I think that's gonna be a great fit right there. Yep. I think so, yeah. I may have to get the hammer and just pound on this to make it flat. Okay, I do not know about you, but I'm liking it. I think that it's looking how it's supposed to look. What do you say, guys? Shall we tack it? Now I need to go get my my C-clamp, my big C-clamp, so I can actually press this down here and put a tack to it. But I'm gonna go ahead and finish tack welding these here, stitch welding it. I'm gonna grind this smooth, and then I'll come back and do that part right there. So there we go. Let me go ahead and finish doing that, and then I'll bring you right back. I'm ready to go ahead and install the missing piece from the engine bay. I have spent several days trying to make this part work. As you know, I think I've said this multiple times. I brought the piece from UK. It wasn't a perfect fit, but I was able to modify it, deconstruct it, and I'm only using whatever I could use from that to make this look how it was supposed to look like when it came out from factory. So I am going to turn the camera around and show you where I'm going to be working at. So we're going to be working right there. All right, so let's go ahead and mock up the piece before we do anything. So I'm going to use my handy dandy vice grips. Okay, I think that we are good. I'm gonna go ahead and take a look from the outside to see what it looks like, and then I'm gonna come back and do a few tacks. I need to go get my welding hood, so I'll be right back. I think it's looking exactly how I was expecting it should look for something that it was gone, and I tried to duplicate it to the best of my knowledge using you know, a few tools here at the house. Nothing that we can say it's a specialty tool, but let's go ahead and put a few tacks, and then we'll come back to maybe adjusting the height on this area right here. But other than that, I think I'm going to go with that. Alright, so I gotta go ahead and do some grinding and smooth some of the surface. I'll bring you back when I'm done. Okay, so I got the piece installed. I did some grinding. I smoothed the welds, you know, the best I could. It's really hard to get in there with a grinder, but you know, it'll be fine like that. I'm okay with that. I'm working on this last piece here. This last piece here basically connects to right here, so I'm fabricating that. I'm gonna go ahead and tack it in place, and that's gonna be done. And I'm not gonna do any more work here. I'm just gonna sand it a little bit and then prime it and then spray paint it. That's all I'm gonna do here. Compared to what I have, this is awesome. All right, one thing that I'm a little upset about it is that pinching this here against the two metals with the vice grip, I sort of like dented just a little bit this balance right here. So, but anyway, I guess I'll just put a little bit of a filler there now and call it a day too. But that's pretty much it. So I'm gonna go ahead and fabricate this piece here. Just gonna cut a piece of metal, and then it's gonna be the length of that, I'm gonna tack it to right here and here, and that's it. I'll bring you back when I'm done. So that's it right there. The next thing I'm gonna do that I am not going to put in this video is add some sealer to some of the connections and some of the areas where I weld the area. Right now, I already rust treated it with rusty silver just to assure the rust is not gonna come back. But I am pretty happy. So that's the piece that I was concerned about not having with the new piece. And so I also had to fabricate this piece here and, well, along this seam right here. So that's the end result. The next video is going to be about prepping all of this area right here, painting it. I think that I do want to go with a coat of POR15 over all of the orange areas that you see exposed that does have some kind of a surface rust, like areas like that one right there above the tranny, and areas like that one right there and there. And then I'll come back over the POR15 and spray paint in orange. But I guess having that extra layer of protection won't hurt. Okay friends, so if you made it all the way down to the end of this video, I want to thank you for that. I really appreciate all of the support. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until then, this is Junior with a classic VW book. Junior out.